Thank you. And then I will ask if there are any announcements to be read.
There are, like always. This meeting is being recorded by the recording clerk for the purpose of taking minutes. Is there anyone else present who wishes to record the meeting? Seeing none. To the attendees of the meeting, a sign-in sheet is being circulated. The board asks that you please sign in to indicate your attendance at today's meeting. It's right there. The select board meetings can be viewed by going into the cable videos icon on the homepage of the town website. And lastly, on Monday, July 6th at 7 p.m., the board will have a meeting. On Monday, July 13th at 5 p.m., the select board will have a work session. Please check the meeting postings on the town website for information to either join via Zoom or for the location of that particular meeting or work session.
Okay, and let's see, I'll open it up for citizen questions and comments if there's anything related to something that is not on the agenda. All right, hearing none. Then I will turn it over to minutes to see if there are any minutes to approve. Are there?
There are a couple, so I'm going to do this quickly. Since we've all had a chance to look at these, I'll make the first motion, which is vote to approve the minutes of the select board meetings held on February 23rd, February 25th, March 2nd, April 1st, April 6th, April 13th, April 15th, April 27th, and May 5th of 2026.
So moved. Or second.
Same thing, right? I never even knew. Okay, any discussion on the first set of minutes to approve? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay.
Next one, I make a motion to vote to approve the minutes of the select board meetings held on May 14th, May 27th, June 11th, and June 16th.
So that's the revised, the pre-revision version.
Read from here.
Okay. That first motion was correct on the,
Yeah, first motion was correct.
I'm gonna revise my motion.
We're not even having a motion.
I'll make a motion to vote to approve the minutes of select board meeting held on May 14th and May 27th and June 8th.
Second. Give it to her. All right, any discussion on the second set of minutes?
I'm gonna abstain on June 8th since I wasn't here.
I don't know if you can abstain since we put them all together. You can abstain. I don't know if you can abstain from a single set of minutes. It's a single motion.
Well, it's almost moot because I voted on minutes that I definitely was not in attendance to.
You're actually allowed to do so
I
in
noticed.
Massachusetts law.
But I believe
Alright.
Chris
Not the right way.
also did likewise.
I'm gonna abstain, but then
You're allowed to.
you already voted, yes.
You don't have to, but you're allowed to. Okay, so any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor of the minutes of May 14th, 27th, and June 8th, 2026, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay.
Okay, the last motion on minutes. Oh boy. I make a motion to vote to approve the minutes of the select board meetings held on June 11th and June 16th.
Second. Any discussion on the minutes of June 11th or June 16th? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you very much. That brings us to new business. We will start with the rail trail review and discussion of the storage shed. And look at that, Bob, we're 5 minutes ahead.
We're cruising.
I don't know if we turn it over to Mr. Hartunian or to Joe. Mr. Geller.
I wouldn't mind just saying a couple quick words if it's okay, Mr. Chair.
Absolutely.
And you all can hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. And thank you for the accommodation tonight. I appreciate everybody's willingness to work with me on this. An important meeting. Just want to acknowledge Joe Geller and the Rail Trail committee that's been working really, really hard behind the scenes, trying to both identify a shed that would be aesthetically pleasing and and locating the shed in a location that makes sense both from the town's perspective as well as the abutting neighbor's perspective, as well as for the rail trail to be able to access it in accordance with their needs as a shed to maintain the trail. Joe and I have spent more than a couple times in his car driving around, then narrowed it down to a couple locations. And as the board knows, last time we came, we were talking about Park Street location. There's some good news from a funding standpoint that I'll let Mr. Geller speak to, but also I think we've come up with a pretty appropriate final proposed location for the board to consider tonight for that garage, which will then allow us to move forward with the project. The project is very community based. We have professionals volunteering in the design and the project management sector of this garage, which will save us funds and really make sure it has that local charm and components to it as we move it forward. It's always great to be able to keep it local. So I appreciate it to be able to say a few words, and most importantly, I just want to say again, like I said at the top, thank you to the Rail Trail Committee and Joe Geller's leadership on that. This is a great example where volunteers can really make a substantial difference, and really great working with you, Joe. So I appreciate that we're at this point, and I will turn it over to you, back to the chair, to possibly turn it over to Mr. Geller.
All right, thank you. Yeah, just reading stuff online. I'm going to turn it over to you in just a second. I just got to say again, thank you so much. To reiterate what he said, the money component obviously has been a big subject in the town. So what you and the committee have done is absolutely huge. And I think that's the kind of stuff that we should be stressing to all the residents of the town as well. And then just opening the picture up again, I got to tell you, that rendering, it looks incredible.
Can you put it up on the screen there?
I don't know that I can.
No, I said I could upload it onto Board Docs.
Oh,
We got it.
We have it here.
I don't know what you're looking at, so.
That doesn't help the audience.
What you sent over to me.
Okay. So,
And before Joe starts, can I just say something?
Sure, go ahead.
Kevin mentioned how working with Joe behind the scenes, I can remember, I've been around long enough, so I can remember when Joe was the entire scene. When 10, 20 years ago, you could find him at the Strawberry Festival with his table and fundraising and awareness and his posters. And I think this is kind of a major milestone in what is a remarkable achievement. He now has gathered around him a group of volunteers that maintain a significant public asset for free. It's impossible, I think, to understate or overstate how much this means to the town and how much we all appreciate your work, Joe.
it's our pleasure to have the trail in the town and have so many people using it and enjoying it, getting healthy. Great social event, groups get together, chatting amongst themselves, walking their dogs, people on bicycles, wheelchairs, so on. So when we're out there doing our maintenance, we get such enthusiasm from people on the trail passing by, thanking us very much. But at the same time, I don't think there's a great awareness in the town of the Rail Trail Committee and the Friends of Topsfield Trails and what we do. We've been really low key. We've only had, in the past 15 years, one mailer go out to the town to raise some funds. And we just like to keep it low key. So,
Low-key approach, major results.
yeah. So the picture that you see in front of you on the shed is an early conception of what it's going to look like. We have to add doors and the overhead door and the other end of the picture that you can't see there. But basically that is going to be what you will see when you're on Main Street looking over there or coming up from St. Rose Church or up the rail trail from Wenham. So that's one item. I don't know if you folks want to make a motion to accept the concept of what the Topsfield Depot, which is what we call it now, will look like, or just go on to approving the location that we've chosen and discussed with several of you.
So there were two things, actually, none of them, I don't know that we were voting on them tonight. One was, you haven't even mentioned the fantastic news about the money, and I think we're all biting our tongue because you should give the good news.
Oh, well, the good news is that the Department of Conservation Recreation has a recreational trails grant. They've done this for many years. And we have submitted several times. I think we've gotten 4 or 5 of those grants to help us along, like put in the signal lights at the different road crossings, and we maintain those as well. And there's been several times when other grants were chosen and we didn't get one. This particular grant is very different. In the past, the DCR was not paying for maintenance of the trails. And when I spoke to the director of the DCR and about this possibility of putting in a maintenance shed, she says, we've never had a building on an application. And I think this is a really good idea. So, that's pretty good comments from the director of the program. In this case, the program, or the grants were split into 2 entities, which I really don't understand fully. One is a subset of the Recreational Trails organization called MARTAB, which is Massachusetts Advisory Recreational Board. And that board reviews like 120 different grants every year. And I've been on that board for about 15 years and kind of in my head, walking out of the room when my grant is being discussed. But there's also Massachusetts DOT organization that gives out the big bucks. In this case, this is, we submitted as a multi-user trail. So I think we all automatically went into that bucket with Mass DOT. I've spoken with people at Mass DOT about funding for years, and they said, no, we don't fund stone dust trails. And that's federal funds that they give out. Even though the federal government says you cannot eliminate stone dust trails from being granted, but so it goes. But I think this year, when that group saw the picture of the Topsfield Depot maintenance, and the fact that the shed is not on stone dust, it's on grass, which may be even worse than stone dust, I don't know. But I think that had something to do with it. So the other day, I went out to Clinton, Massachusetts, when there was a grant party, if you will. There were 38 grants that were awarded to different entities. The highest one I saw was $330,000 to the Metropolitan Area Planning Commission. And they're working on computer access where you can see all the trails in the state and details about those trails. So the state is really heavily behind these trails, kind of catching up to where the West Coast and especially the Midwest has been.
And I think the good news is,
The good news is we got a grant for some $46,000. And that's a reimbursement grant, so the town puts up the money as we go along. And then we can apply for reimbursements. It doesn't have to be all at once.
Yeah.
Uh,
Actually, for more than we allotted at town meeting too.
By $1,000.
Yeah.
Well, this is all a guess. Who knows what the cost of materials is going to be down the road when we start purchasing for the.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I don't know that we needed to vote on it. Maybe Mr. Hartunian, can you clarify? Do we need a vote on it?
If the board's comfortable with the location that's being proposed, the final location, if you want to show a sign of support, I don't think there's any harm in having the board vote, if they so chose.
The location is where it was staked out, when we were looking at it together on that,
Yeah.
Wednesday, I think it was.
I have a picture here. Unfortunately, I only got one. So in the picture, you see Mr. Ruggles here.
So it hasn't moved from that.
And,
Okay.
and Kevin. So that denotes the diagonals of the location of the shed.
And while they're passing that around, can I just, a couple of questions, can you remind me the dimensions?
12 by 24 feet.
And are we gonna put a concrete pad under it?
That's under discussion from the person that's sort of the general manager of the construction. He feels that putting down a layer of stone and putting down pressure-treated wood on top of the stone is going to last us a very long time. And
But
the
you'd
cost
have
of
concrete footings probably.
Yeah, footings to support the pressure-treated wood.
I like that location. That was my, of the two, that was the one I liked.
If it looks
So I'm
like
glad.
this, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna look great. And similar,
Madam Vice Chair, if I could just add one little point to the location. I don't know if I'm going out of turn because I can't see everybody.
Yeah, go ahead,
ahead.
Mr. Hartunian.
I would just say that location we looked at two, one in the back, remember, closer towards past St. Rose, and then one closer to that area up front, close to Main Street. And there's a tree that this will sort of place behind, not underneath per se, but behind it. So it kind of flows from the aesthetics and the vista from Main Street. From a location wise, there was we were looking at closer to the road and close to the rail trail, and where we staked it out was very purposeful, I guess, in its location there. Not just in the front near Main Street, but the very specific location closest to the parking lot, in that corner of the parking lot and the rail trail itself. And one other quick point, if I could, one of the things that got me personally really excited about this location was Mr. Gill and I had a conversation around using that space in a maybe a little bit different than just a beautiful, aesthetically pleasing garage, but considering putting some benches there so that if somebody was walking, they wanted to sit underneath the building, they could. And secondarily, we're having some preliminary conversations about putting some either historical images of the rail or possibly some public art on the facade of the building itself. So it'll actually become a canvas of sorts to help beautify that section. Because I know Park Street, that area, that grass area, we talked about beautifying it. I think we could do some really interesting things from a public art standpoint on the facade itself. So it's a really cool opportunity for the town, I think, beyond just the nuts and bolts of how the garage will serve the rail trail.
All right,
So we'd really like to get going
yeah,
with this. So do you folks accept the location of the trail?
Well, can I make a motion that we support the plan as presented tonight for the shed and the location? And
I'll second that. Any other discussion from the board?
Yeah. I'm not quite behind the public art. I would like to keep this building as simple and as representative of what it is. So when the time comes for somebody to suggest public art, I'd like that to be addressed. Don't want this to be an approval of whatever anybody wants to do to the building.
Mhm.
I support this building. I think it's a beautiful building.
Yeah, the intention of my motion was the building itself and the location, not any public art aspect.
Understood. But I don't know, a lot has happened outside the select board with the location and the design, so I don't want anything else to happen outside, that's all.
And how do you feel about us calling it the Topsfield Depot?
It's fine.
That works?
Sounds good.
All right, any other discussion or comments? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you very much, and again, please do express our gratitude to the rest of the committee as well. Thank you. Okay, item B,
You're gonna keep.
I do
more
need to
people
keep
show
it.
like
we are moving on to discussion and vote to reorganize the
No, I just need the digital.
officers.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
So
Thank you, Joe.
we do this once a year. Again, I thank everybody for giving some patience as we figured out the last few weeks, but it is time for us to reorganize. So we need a new chair, and for that, I would be prepared to nominate Mr. Robert Metz as chair.
I would second that.
Any discussion?
Is he old enough?
No.
Does he want to do it?
I think at a certain point we say, isn't he too old?
Well,
Does he
in fact,
wanna do
In
it?
the words of Ronald Reagan, I won't let your relative inexperience bind my judgments.
Okay, then all those in favor of Mr. Metz as the next chair for a term ending on the day of the first select board meeting following the 2027 annual town elections. Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Next up, we have the vice chair of the select board, and for that, I would nominate, not that I'm the only one who can nominate anybody, but Ms. Mercier Link to take on the vice chair of the select board for a term ending on the day of the first select board meeting following the 2027 annual town elections.
Second?
Seconded. Any discussion? Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, next up, we have the clerk.
So, you wanna go ahead? I would like to make a motion that we appoint Raphael McDonald as clerk, which would. Wait a second.
I'll second it.
I think.
You're gonna read the rest of it.
Vote to appoint Raphael McDonald as clerk of the select board for a term of 1 year
Not the
ending,
1 year part,
ending on the day of the first select board meeting following the 2027 annual town elections.
Second.
Okay. And I guess my last official thing would be to see if there's any other discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? It passes and
Pass the
Now,
gavel.
there's one
I
other thing,
finish.
there's one other thing that's not on the agenda for this section. And we could either handle it here or when we handle the liaison type motions later.
Listening
But
session.
we also need someone to pick up the reins on the listening session coordination.
Yeah.
On once a month on Saturdays. This is like, I think it's the third Saturday in every month at the library, 10 a.m. for an hour, a little more. We always get members of these school committees, various school committees coming, and occasionally get 2, 3, 5 citizens coming. We'd always like it to be more, but it's still a good chance to exchange information. So,
If I may, Mr. Chair,
yes,
those are not official select board meetings, so I think that's traditionally just been kind of organized by us on an unofficial capacity. I agree with everything you said, but I don't know that it would fit in with the official business.
well, I think it's I could slide it to the liaison section. That's,
Does it need to be voted, I think is the
Right.
question here.
well, it needs to be accepted by whoever, is willing to do it.
Assigned and accepted. We
Yeah.
need to figure out who's gonna do it.
And I think we have,
Mr. Chair, but
go ahead.
just a little bit of clarification. So, the listening sessions, I think to Mr. McDonald's point, are outside an official appointment. This SAC, the ECDC, Traffic Advisory, there's an official document associated with each of those committees and a place for the select board to appoint someone to sit on those. The listening sessions, I think this Mr. Ruggles was saying, would be more of just an agreement that somebody is taking the reins, as you said, versus a formal vote, just from a technical standpoint.
So what's,
Absolutely worth identifying the person. Just wanted to make sure there's some clarity on that.
can we do that now, or do we need to do that in a different section of the meeting, Kevin?
That is up to the chair, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so I would like to see if we get somebody to volunteer for that now. And I think we have assignments for, at this point, for everybody except Greg. So if you'd like to take that on, we'd be grateful.
Sure.
And I have a spreadsheet and kind of laying out, how people get assigned and so forth. And we like to have 2 select board members there, but not, at least one, not more than 2, because then you got a quorum. So, and we basically try and rotate it so that everybody gets 2 or 3 tries each 6-month period. And I used to try and circulate it, get people to volunteer, and then the coordination of I can't do this week and I can't do this month, but somebody else can't do that other month. It seemed to make more sense that you just kind of nominate people for certain months, and then anybody who has a unbreakable problem can be in touch with you and try and trade. So thank you for volunteering for that, Greg, and I'll share the materials with you outside the meeting.
All right. Ceremonial moving of chairs.
You really want to do it?
Does yours go up and down?
He just got to the
Yes.
height he wanted.
Yes. And I put all my chocolates on the left side, so I don't have to move them now.
You got that, so yours.
Sam, we'll take that away from you.
It works.
Yeah, you get it for the first and the last time.
Okay, so that takes care of item B. Onward to, or item C, right? No, onward to item C, which is official signing capacity. So we need to nominate somebody or for the primary signatory role, or we just need somebody to nominate themselves.
I'll make a motion to vote to appoint Chair Bob Metz as the signatory of the select board for a term of 1 year, ending the day of the first select board meeting following the 2026 annual town election.
Second?
Oh, sorry, 2027.
Oh,
That's what I meant to second anyways.
Thank you.
so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against?
Discussion.
Hearing no discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? And abstain. Okay, so then we need a alternate signatory authority, and for that I nominate Michelle Mercier-Link.
Second.
Any discussion? No discussion, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? And abstain. Okay, that passes 4-0. And then for the,
5-0.
Who seconded that? I apologize.
I didn't vote for
Mr.
myself.
Ruggles.
Thank you, sorry.
I didn't vote for myself, so that's 4-0.
She voted for herself.
I voted for myself.
Okay, 5-0.
She got more votes
Mr.
than
Metz,
you.
I think you'd have to abstain or vote yes or no.
Okay, well, I'm gonna abstain on myself and vote yes for Michelle. So then we need to vote to appoint Kevin, a motion voting to appoint Town Administrator Kevin Haratunian as a payroll and bill signatory for the Select Board Department for a term ending on June 30th, 2027. And that's basically bills and the payroll of the 4-person Select Board Department, which are then go into the accounting machinery and come out to be signed off in the global list for the entire town.
Second?
Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Abstain? Okay, that passes 5-0. The next order, how are we doing here on time? I said the next one was gonna start at 7:30.
36.
37. So the next item of business is a liaison to the ECDC committee, and I am going to nominate Michelle Mercier-Link to continue to carry out her good work that's been going on in the ECDC.
Strongly second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing no discussion, I'm gonna ask for votes in favor.
Aye.
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 Anyone against? That passes, and I'm gonna vote aye, that passes 5-0. Liaison to the Sustainability Advisory Committee, I'm gonna make a motion to appoint Chris Ruggles as Select Board Liaison to the Sustainability Advisory Committee.
Second?
Any discussion?
I've had the pleasure of being on the committee for the last 3 or 4 years, I don't even know. You got a great group. They will keep you driving forward and
Good.
they love ideas. So, you got a great group.
Look forward to it.
Anything else? Okay, I'm gonna ask for all those in favor to say aye.
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 Against? And abstentions. Okay, so that passes 5-0.
Just like that, you're back on time.
Look at that. So now we're up to the liaison to the Traffic Advisory Committee. Do we have a nomination for that?
I'll make a motion to vote to appoint Chair Bob Metz as the Select Board Liaison to the Traffic Advisory Committee.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'll just sit here and do nothing.
Did you have a particular interest in that?
Yes, I did.
All right, so I'm willing to retract my nomination, I guess. Is that doable by Sam's rules of order?
Robert's Rules of Order and Sam's agree.
No one seconded, so I'll reread it. I'll make a motion to vote to appoint Greg Serino as the Select Board Liaison to the Traffic Advisory Committee.
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? And abstain. Okay, that's 5-0 for Greg. So now we're on to home rule petition for off-premises alcohol license, basically selling alcohol for retail. The state asked for language modifications when in the process of combining the wine and beer license with distilled or spirits license into one. The state has asked us to change the language, and the most substantive change is removing the limitation on the small bottle sales of liquor, so-called NIPS. And the state has expressed an opinion that they don't like to do this at the state level. They would rather the communities do it on their own. So it is, if we're still against that, we can bring that up at a nearby future meeting and set up a policy for the year to be potentially followed up with a bylaw at the next town meeting. So, and that's all in the language that was attached to board docs. So, do we want to have some more discussion on that or swing into a motion?
Mr. Chair, if I could jump in for just 1 second, sir?
Go for it.
Thank you. That was a great explanation. The only clarifier I would just make, so this is relevant not to the 2026 town meeting, but 2025. At that town meeting, unanimously, the town voted for off-site consumption liquor licenses to allow for not only beer and wine, but to add liquor. We have 4 of those licenses, 2 of which at the time had been actively used, Leela's and Gill's. Both independently approached my office in prior a year and a half, 2 years ago, and said, we need help. We're at a disadvantage competitively. The select board did have robust conversations about the language and the limitations of the NIPS before it was put onto the warrant. The state, as it's gone through its process, and I will note, the town's been working diligently with our state reps and senator to have this move through the process. It's taken a lot longer than I think anyone would have liked. But what they did say, as Mr. Chair had indicated, is that this is sort of zero sum. We don't really have a choice. If we want to make sure they have a license, we have to go with the language that they approved. I had multiple conversations with Stan Rogalowski, the chair of the ALAC, who we have a local policies relative to our liquor licensing, which includes off-site consumption licenses. In those conversations, we are looking to put into our local regulations that the NIPS and 250 mils, I believe is what the other language said, would be not allowed for sale here in Topsfield for off-site consumption. That'll be potentially the stopgap, as Mr. Chair had said, until we put a formal bylaw in place, if we so choose, possibly as early as the next annual town meeting next year. So that just want to make sure the off-site consumption was clear. But we'll a little disappointed with that the Senate seemed to move it forward. There was the House that had some hangups with the language with the NIPS. It was at the last step in the process that they indicated those concerns. Thank you.
Anyone else want to?
Yeah, I lament a couple things. One, that we spent so much time trying to get that, and I just wish we knew this would have been a problem to begin with. C'est la vie. I'm still very opposed to NIPS, but I am even more for helping the local businesses that said they need it. So if that's what we need to do to help them, I'm all for it.
I think we have an informal, unofficial indication by one of the retailers that he wouldn't be looking to sell NIPS. But I think we should still establish our own policy when we get to the point of being organized to do that effectively. So, do we want to make a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to vote to approve language modifications by House Counsel regarding an act authorizing the town of Topsfield to convert 4 off-premise licenses for the sale of wine and malt beverage to be converted to 4 licenses for the sale of all alcohol beverages, not to be drunk on the premises.
Second. Any further?
Yeah.
I'm totally out of this, and to be honest with you, 25 years ago, I recommended not the beer and wine license. So I'm not really happy about this at all. And I like some of the people who say they're gonna benefit from it, but I think it's a wrong direction for the town. I'm just curious as why there are 4. What plans do we have?
Maybe you
Could you
could
repeat the question? I'm sorry.
The question is, Kevin, why 4 licenses?
So there's 4 licenses because when they were established nearly 20 years ago in Topsfield, they were one at a time created. The powers that be at the time, over the history of Topsfield, the last 20 years, decided to add them at certain points in time. I think it was specifically because of an effort to encourage economic development, and had businesses in town that had asked for the consideration to do the beer and wine. And then, like I said, last year, it was unanimously voted at town meeting to move that forward, as it was written previously, to expand it to the liquor.
So historically, we had accumulated 4, and now we're just converting those to be expanded into.
And only 2, as I understand, are used, or how many are actually been awarded?
I think we have 2 for retail sale now. Is that right, Kevin?
Yep, 2 technically in this moment right now. We have 2 available, 2 that are spoken for. I'll give an update on one of those 2 during my TA updates.
So I'm assuming since it was town meeting, I can't modify it to 2 at this point. Is that correct?
Sorry, I couldn't hear the question.
Greg is saying, can he modify this motion to 2 licenses? I mean, he could.
No. The state
State law.
language is, it's like I said a minute ago, it's zero sum. We either accept it as they voted and present it, or we vote it down and not move forward with allowing those businesses to have, or the business to be able to sell liquor as the town indicated they wish to allow.
If we have 2 issued, the 3rd and 4th would require a positive vote by us, right?
Yes.
So,
So-
when we did it a year and a half ago, it would give a disadvantage to anyone coming in to be able to sell. Well, there was multiple reasons. We discussed this a year and a half ago. So there was basically the licenses that were put forward, the 4 of them that were put forward at town meeting. Each of those added specific language for the liquor. Again, 2 of those were spoken for at the time. 2 were not. The town at the time voted to create the same for all. I think we might get in a little bit of issues down the road and might be back here if we try to do it differently. But I think more importantly is that if we modify the language here, my understanding is that that might have issues with what the state's already signed off on and allowed to do.
We either approve their language or we don't approve liquor sales.
Correct. Yeah. Right. And we have not issued a 3rd or 4th for beer wine retail sales. So that would require a vote, a specific vote by us to do so in the future. So we are in effect
Correct.
limited to 2 at this point, even though we will have 4 available to us. Or we would have 4 available to us if we vote this tonight. So any further discussion? Do we want to have a motion on this?
I read the
Already had
motion.
one.
You did. And we had a second? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All against?
Nay.
Okay, and we have 4-1 passes. Next item on the agenda is budget transfers. We have a request to transfer $3,800 from highway line painting, unused account to gas diesel distribution account, $3,800. Are those both of yours under your umbrella? Gary?
The gas is, but I hold it for the entire town, so
Okay.
all departments spend on that. It just happens to be coming out of my budget.
Okay. And then $1,000 from part-time clerical to advertising. What does TBD stand for?
Planning board.
Planning board advertisement. You have to place ads for what?
They had to place 2 ads for their own public hearings for town meeting, for the bylaw amendments and changes.
Okay, all right, so, do we have any, further discussion about that?
That's gonna get us through the end of the fiscal in 2 days?
That was,
Or
yeah, that
yesterday,
last,
tomorrow?
that last purchase we made a week ago,
Okay.
just 1,200 gallons, was to make sure we got to at least July 1st.
Okay. So do we have a motion to make on this?
Vote to approve the FY 2026 budget transfers as presented.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? Okay, passes 5-0, no abstentions, since we've already voted ourselves in full. Then we have, did we get a building permit scheduled for the new fees?
So, Mr. Chair, we have been working on that for a number of weeks. Unfortunately, we're not able to receive from the building department the updated schedule. We have a red line, but we're gonna punt until our next meeting to formally present it. So I ask that we delay the vote and consideration tonight, and we'll bring it up at our next meeting.
Okay, we'll move beyond that to the Pine Grove Cemetery mowing trimming services contract. Do you want to talk about this for a minute, Kevin?
Sure. Just high level, about 4 years ago, finding ways to save money and create efficiencies. The superintendent, Gary Wilds, and myself, and Travis, our foreman, we're trying to work through different options. And one of the options we looked at was outsourcing the Pine Grove Cemetery, which in essence would free up our team from servicing that space and to be able to tackle other items as they came up. And went out to bid, had about $50,000, I think was the first contract. And then about a year and a half ago, Mr. Wilds went out again, and actually the contract came in significantly less with a new vendor who submitted for the work. We worked with them last year. I'll let Mr. Wilds speak to its success, but from everything I've heard, it's been a very, very positive experience with this vendor, and the savings went from 50 down to 40,000 and change. So both good service and affordable in this contract. But want to just, while we're on this, commend the superintendent's team for their efforts to try to, a few years ago, try to find and successfully find ways for us to be as efficient as possible when we produce our product to the community.
Okay, anybody else want to chat about this? Do we have a motion on this?
So just a couple other questions. Sorry if I missed it, Mr. Administrator, how much is the contract gone up?
And actually, it's the same as last year, is my understanding. I know Mr. Wilds is in the room. If he's nodding in agreement, I hope he is.
Yes, he is.
He's nodding, okay, great. And
Yep. And so it went from a year before that, it dropped close to $10,000 when we bid it out after the first 3-year contract.
And we covered this with the perpetual care, right? A transfer from perpetual care?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah, it comes through 3 different budgets from perpetual care, from sale of lots. There's 2 others, the interest off of our principal,
Yeah,
and then a revolving fund, but it all together covers that. This is just the first year of 2 possible amendments, so we're finishing up with the first guaranteed year. Now we do our contracts, this will come to fruition shortly on the next ones. Same idea, they're guaranteed 1 year, and then if their services provided
we're good.
acceptable, then we would sign them again, but we have that out if ever we need to move on.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so did we have a motion on this? I don't think we did.
I'll make a motion to vote to approve a contract between the town of Topsfield and GCS Services Group of Amesbury, Massachusetts for mowing and trimming services at the Pine Grove Cemetery for fiscal year 2027, ending June 30th, 2027, for an amount of $40,350.
Second,
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, not hearing any discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Okay, this passes 5-0. Now we're into Public Works Road Materials, contract acceptances for unit costs associated with paving materials. This was basically the second year of a 3-year deal, is that right,
So
Gary?
this is the second amendment of the original, so this is the last year of the contract for all three services, which would be full depth reclamation, milling, and paving. This time next year, we will be, sometime around here, be coming in front of you, hopefully already put the RFP out and start it all over again for another 3-year setup.
And this is the same prices
As the original, yes.
as the prior 2
Yeah,
years.
so the 3-year is, what our unit price is good for the 3 years. They are locked into that.
Yeah, I guess we should consider ourselves fortunate that we have an asphalt-based pricing contract in place.
Yes, absolutely. I have heard some of the numbers after our contract went out before and what towns got locked in. So this still went up, but it was significantly less than some that I've seen.
What is the market variability on the FWC?
So
Plus or minus?
we have what's an adjustment clause, Portland type 2, diesel, gas, so, asphalt as well. Those are dictated by the state. How much that rises, the cost of that can be put into, so our unit price is $83.95 a ton for asphalt. If that rises a certain amount, there is a formula that they're allowed, so the contractor doesn't lose their shirt if it goes that high. In turn, if it ever were to go the other way, our price will go down, but I've yet to see that one happen, unfortunately.
Okay, any other questions? Would you have a motion for this then, please?
Vote to approve a contract between the town of Topsfield and EJ Paving Company of Methuen, Massachusetts for type 1 bituminous concrete with a unit price of $83.95 per ton.
Bituminous? Just a couple of quick questions, Gary. What is bituminous concrete? I always heard bituminous in relation to coal.
Well, bituminous, I think it's just an old industry standard that it was always called. I know Phil, God rest his soul, he would always use it constantly in my conversations with me.
Yeah.
But it's just something it's been in the contract since when I was working for Dave, and I have just kept it. It's just an old school kind of thing.
And EJ paving is basically the install, and tread milling is basically the grind up and remove.
Yes, tread would be the the milling that we do is typically 1.5 to 2 inches. If that road has enough depth that we can get down into it and not have to do the full depth. The full depth reclamation is 18 inches, and then we have to regrade, roll it. Then there has to be binder and then top, which the reclaim price is $3.15, or I forget now. I'm sorry what it is.
That's right.
Square yard. But you add up with that, sometimes like when we get around to doing Pemberton, that's gonna have to be full depth reclamation. It's just too far gone now, since we finally been waiting to get the road acceptances in. So that'll require a full depth regrade, take some of the overburden out, depending on how well it rolls. And then we'll come in with a binder and then do our top and hopefully be out of there for quite some time.
Now, $83.95 per ton. How many feet of road, typical road, would a ton cover?
The best way I can tell you if the standard distance between a telephone pole is how I judge it when we're out in the field as to a tri-axle load. And it's pretty, but it depends on width of roadway, depth that we're doing, type of asphalt that we're getting, whether it's a 3/8 or a larger stone. Those variables all come in.
So you don't have a tons per mile kind of metric?
You can get it. We use a standard.
8 miles or something.
Yeah. I have not had to use it really. We have our square yardage, or excuse me, our linear feet by the width, and then we decide I make them give me their numbers before I give them my numbers of what I've come up with when I measure everything. And then, you know, I always fluff it a little just in case for any emergencies. We're always trying to make sure we meet driveway ends and don't cause puddles in between, because then that's just a puddle waiting to freeze is his first spot to fall.
Future puddle.
You fluff it a little for your own working budget, but not for what you tell them, right?
Exactly, yeah, so, and when I say that, it's for chapter 90, and everybody does this. It's just in case if something goes wrong. I had this conversation with Amanda a little while ago. My first year, I was far too tight on my yields that I had requested from chapter 90 in our portion. And so all 3 streets went over. So I had to write a memo and town letterhead to District 4 for each one. And they kind of gave me, and they were very good, they gave me a little institutional knowledge for going forward, so
So
that
to
has
speak.
not happened since.
Learned that lesson once.
Yes.
Okay.
And so bitumen is a viscous byproduct of petroleum refining that acts as primary waterproofing and binding agent.
Okay.
And bituminous concrete is also known as asphalt,
Was that right?
hot top,
It's not
blacktop.
concrete. Interesting. Okay. Interesting.
Bitumen would be the rolled surface a lot of used to use before shingles went down. Or a rubber roof if you had it for years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Tar.
Okay.
Yes.
So do we have a motion on this, on the first section of this?
I made a motion.
You just need a second.
I'll second. So, do we have any further discussion? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody against? Nay? Okay, that passes 5-0. And then the second piece, we've heard a little bit about that, the treadmilling company piece. Any further questions
Make a
about
motion
that?
to approve a contract between the town of Topsfield and Treadmilling Company of Methuen, Mass. For type 2 bituminous concrete excavation with a unit price of $3.15 per square yard.
I'll second it. Any further discussion?
A question of, we're removing type 2 bituminous concrete and putting down type 1.
Clerical error, if anything.
Should the second one be type 1? Does it
Goes
matter?
for-
Do we know?
Formality, it probably should for this.
Okay.
At the end of the day, for me and what we do, it does not matter, but
Or should we just amend the motion and say, take out the words for type 2, just mass bituminous concrete excavation?
that would be fine, yeah.
Quick, if I could, Mr. Chair.
Yes? Go ahead, Dan.
Is this the same contract they use amongst all the communities, Gary, that we're part of?
Everybody, there's quite a bit of the familiarity with it, but everybody has a little twist on it differently depending on what they put in and services.
As long as it's not a standard, like sometimes contracts you can't alter between any of the communities. It sounds like we can make that. I just want for that
yes,
clarification on the
I
contract.
see where you're going with that, yes, we can.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, if we take out a descriptor
Right.
and make it more expansive, it doesn't really eliminate it.
The contract itself has type 2 bituminous concrete in it. So
Okay, so we'll leave it as is.
leave it as is.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Okay, so we have 5, this passes 5-0. So we're now into item L.
Recording stopped.
Okay, so we're now into item L. Boston Street Storage Tank Replacement. Amendment for the Wright Pierce contract. Now, Wright Pierce was the management oversight contractor, consulting company on the water tank. The contractor on the tank itself was D&N Tanks. We ran into some issues and caused the construction to stretch out close to 3 months. And as a result, the management oversight contract also needs to be amended, since they had to do their management over an extended period. So Kevin, do you want to add some detail to that substance?
No, that was good. I'll just give a couple of detailed components to it. Like the chair said, Wright Pierce was the owner's project manager on the construction of the water tank. The water tank came in under budget, but it did not come on schedule. That was due to delays on D&T tank site work specifically. There were things underground that were found that weren't expected that took some time, but it wasn't substantial. There was some delays by the contractor. As such, that 25.5 represents the additional oversight time necessary due to those delays. So we've had conversations that we are obligated to pay this. They spent the time, and the change order to the contract will still be well under budget on the project even with that. However, the town's position will be that our contingency will not be returned, at least not in its entirety, until we have a conversation with D&T Tanks around the delays that were resulting in these additional costs. Bottom line, they should pay for it, not the town. But we do need to pay the contractor for his work now. We're obligated to that.
The oversight contractor, the contingency Kevin's
Correct.
talking about is
The
in
Wright
the,
Pierce contract that's in front of the board tonight, that's our contract with our vendor. The D&T, the tank company, and us will have a further conversation about, and we are holding those funds, so we have them in possession, and we plan to hold them as a result of this.
that's a contingency in the budget with D&T, the construction company.
Correct.
Anybody else want to ask or discuss this?
Just one question, why are the hourly rates that we're being charged so different? Is that just what's in our contract?
So, Mr. Mr. McDonald, did you say that why were the rates per hour different?
Yeah, under Article 2, like general construction versus on-site meetings versus resident project representative, I guess. Different people, different levels, or?
Yeah, my educated assumption that I say with confidence is that was due to different people doing different work at different rates.
Okay. Understandable, thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion?
A vote to approve a contract amendment to the contract between the town of Topsfield and Wright Pierce of Andover, Massachusetts for additional time and costs incurred beyond the original contract costs for administration and oversight for the Boston Street water storage tank for an additional amount of $25,500.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, against? Say nay. Passes 5-0. So we're now on to item M. Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency Grant Acceptance. Did you want to talk, is this yours?
Yeah.
Jen, do you want to talk about it?
Yep, sure. It's thank you. It's from MEMA. It's a grant that we've applied for each year. The amount of money is designated by population based. The guidelines for the grant changed dramatically this year, so it's for emergency responses. And so we applied for it for 3 iPads to be put in vehicles right now, but to be used if we need to stand up an emergency operations center. Like we had a few weeks ago, we had I don't know if it was a front or whatever come through, and there's a tremendous amount of damage, a lot of priorities that we had to move around, and we started to set up operations center then, but it would be something like that, that we could use them for those. So whoever was in the planning group or the communications group or the supply group, depending on what they're needed, could use that for their documentation and record keeping. So it's, I think it's $2,340.
$2,430.
Dyslexia, yeah, you
You
got
got
it.
a $90 raise.
There you go, yeah. Yep, that's it.
Okay, so another in a long line of very helpful grants for the town and for the fire department. Thank you for your efforts. I'd like to make a motion that we vote to accept a grant from the Massachusetts Emergency Management Agency in the amount of $2,430 for emergency management and response equipment.
Second.
Any further discussion or accolades?
Lots of accolades.
Many,
Thank you
many.
again.
Yeah, thanks. Yep, you're welcome.
And my only thing would be that I know we do a lot of work to track these things at the end of the year. I'm gonna try and start tracking them now so that it's just easier to do later.
Good idea.
We're close to 50,000 just tonight. We're gonna get more.
Yes, you're
Yeah,
right.
You're right. Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you. That's my long-winded way of saying thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so unless there's further discussion, we can take a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody against accepting money? No? Okay, that passes 5-0. Now we're into Topsfield Athletic Association, where Bill King is going to come in and talk about some donations, a few of which were worked out in consultation with Kevin. But Kevin, Mr. King is involved with a very important softball game, apparently, and wasn't entirely confident that he'd be able to get here before 9. So
We can
we're gonna jump.
table it.
Yeah, so we're gonna jump over this and move up to, we have the Pybrook shed and the Clock Park shed. Did Mr. King want to address those as well, Kevin? Yes?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I would say if we wanted to do go to appointments, come back to the 4TA, and I am comfortable speaking on all 4 of those if Mr. King's not here by the time we get to him.
Okay. All right, so we'll jump over N, O, P, and Q onto item R, which is 2027, fiscal 2027 appointments to the various committees and boards. And the list we received is people who's are being reappointed with an expiring term, some of which are a year, so they expire every year, obviously, but some of which are 3 years. So this is a long list, and it looks like the way the motions are drafted, we can make a motion to accept what's posted on the list, so we don't need to read every name in every committee on a 4-page list, a 3-page list. But I think we first want to, again, thank everybody that participates as a volunteer in all these boards and committees. And I think we hear almost every meeting about further progress in various areas by people that are basically volunteers and volunteer their time to make Topsfield a better place. So thank you to everyone that's joining a committee or re-upping this year. Does anybody else want to discuss any of the people or the committee efforts or any other questions on this?
Yes. So I tried to reach out to several with Sam's help of the boards. There were a couple that I couldn't get in touch with, or I through my fault, nobody else's. And if it's possible, I wonder if we could maybe hold a discussion on the ALAC members and the cultural council, just because I wasn't able to reach out to them yet. There were a couple other boards, I said, hey, you know, do you have meetings coming up? Is this going to be problematic? I don't think that is going to be so. But if we could get a couple more weeks maybe to settle those, I think we'd be in a better spot. Unless, Sam, you did hear from them or? No, okay, yeah, cause I said I would reach out to them.
And we meet next Monday, so if we had to, we could do those appointments then. If we
The
hear back.
6th and the 13th.
And then the others, just on the Sustainability Advisory Committee. So this would be a formal change. Ms. Jen Forrester is leaving the board. Andrew Prazer is not on the board. Phil Kennedy is leaving. So Phil and Jen are fulfilling, I think, 4 or 5 years on the committee, and are no longer there. And Charisse Rom Nolson is going to be going into her 2nd year. And then we also have Sarah Beck and Stephanie Laubner, Laubner.
But they aren't up for reappointment this year.
Those two, the last two are not for reappointment. Charisse is.
So we should, when we go to vote, we should exclude Jennifer Forrester, Andrew Prazer, and Philip Kennedy, and include Charisse.
Yes.
They're on here.
No, should we, I'm so sorry, should we maybe just hold off on and put this on the 6th?
All right, so we'll put this on the hold also.
Is that okay with the
Yes,
board?
there's a number of moving parts. Yeah.
Keep it clean.
Okay. And then just a clarification on that. These are reappointments or appointments as well?
Just re.
Just okay, thank you.
The entire list is reappointments. No new recruits.
No.
Okay.
It just says vote to appoint. Oh, is there a checkbox I missed? Vote of the board, attachments, no.
Yeah,
Vote to
I
appoint.
don't see an indication.
Okay, I'll take.
Any further questions or details? So I'm gonna make a motion to vote to reappoint the individuals to the various boards, committees, and commissions with the terms presented in the document titled FY27 Appointments Memo to SB, with the exception of the Alcohol Licensing Advisory Board, the Cultural Council, and the Sustainability Advisory Committee, which will be held for a future meeting.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anybody against, say nay. Passes 5-0. Okay. Just making a note here. And then we have the appointments in the police department and the fire, as indicated in the attached list for for the fire department and the fire department call officers and the police department reserve officers. These two lists, with one exception in the police department, I believe, constitute the adjusted list of call and reserve officers. And I don't think there's anything further to say there unless anybody has any questions or discussion they'd like to do.
Were there some changes last minute for the fire department, I believe? Was that what we talked about? Yeah. And I think Sam put them on board docs.
30 seconds, I'll pull it up.
So police,
Appointment revise, Tamara Harper was retired and Andrew Dwinmel was accidentally left off, so he was added on.
So what we have in board docs looks.
Is correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
With
Board
all-
Docs is correct.
With all adjustments and corrections, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 of them.
And then the one for the police department was that the one we talked about earlier,
I believe so, yeah.
out of state?
We had Scott on there, right, which came off.
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, he's still on there.
He's still on.
He is. Oh, wait a minute. So we are removing him, right? From the list? Scott Hovey, are we taking Scott Hovey off the list, Kevin, for the police?
Scott is still listed as a traffic
Control officer.
TCO.
Yeah, he doesn't live here anymore.
Right, it's a long commute from Carolina. So should we amend our motion when we make it to remove Scott Hovey? Kevin?
So I believe the chief submitted with him included in the event that he is available in the future to come and work. I don't, the traffic control officers, there's no overhead with having them on, like a reserve police officer, where you have to make sure they go through certain trainings. It's more of their availability, more than anything else. And so just to confirm to you, the police and the fire, we made some modifications on how we do the appointments a few years ago. It's more of an acknowledgement for the police and the fire versus a formal vote to approve them as a reappointment. So it wouldn't be binding. It's more of an acknowledgement than anything else. So, you know, if chief decides not to keep him on next week, he can pull him off, etc. The discretion's at the police chief, myself, on the hiring and firing those, and then also with the fire department, it's a strong chief situation where she does the hiring, firing, or removal, I should say, on her end. But this has been our tradition, is to ratify or to acknowledge through the select board at the end of the year still.
Okay, so if they need to make an adjustment, they can do it without select board further
Correct.
action. Okay. So I'm gonna make a motion that we vote to affirm the appointments made from Police Chief Neil Hovey and Fire Chief Jen Collins Brown for the terms presented in the document titled FY27 Appointments Police and FY27 Appointments Fire.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, so ready for a vote. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And against, please say nay. Passes 5-0. Okay, so now we're into, Kevin, you want to do updates while we wait for Mr. King? Or do you want to just dive in on his behalf?
If the board's comfortable with it, I can do at least the first two, and if you wish, I can do between myself and Mr. Wilds, who I still see there, we did meet with Mr. King about what his expectations are and have gone through his request for the two sheds. So, but the two donations, the first one that's in front of you is the TAA payroll. This is relative to the summer program that's run. It's a TAA program in collaboration with the town. We handle the payroll components of it, and per our agreement, there's a 70-30 split between all the revenues that are generated from that program, 30% back to the town to cover the payroll, and any additional beyond our payroll cost, which is reimbursing for the cost we have, the outlay that we have for the camp counselors for the program. This is the reimbursement for that, and then we'll receive whatever the difference between this is and 30%. We'll receive a second contribution from TAA likely towards the end of the season. So again, this is just to reimburse the town for us, in essence, fronting the cost for the payroll.
Okay, so
same as
this-
what we did last year.
This is anticipated to be a little bit more than the total program payroll for the whole summer?
Correct.
Okay. All right, and then after the TA does its accounting of revenues minus expenses, including this 20,000, there's a 70-30 split. Is that,
That's correct. We'll see an additional, last year, I think we received like $1,800 after the first payroll payment. That was part of the split for the 70-30, or 28, might be 28, sorry, 2,800.
okay? Well, this continues to be a good deal for the kids and the parents and the town, so I'm glad we're able to keep this going. Thank you for negotiating that, Kevin, and keeping that stable and rolling forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Great partnership with the TAA.
Yep. So do we have a motion for this?
I'll make a motion to vote to accept a donation from the Topsfield Athletic Association in the amount of $20,000 to fund payroll for the summer programming for the 2026 in accordance to the Memorandum of Understanding.
Second.
Any further questions, discussion?
Just a heartfelt thank you to the many employees and volunteers who are making this happen. I know it was a huge success last year.
Yeah, I'm glad it's continuing to go in the midst of some difficult budget adjustments. There was some clamor on some of the social media sites that this might be a sacrificial lamb to what's going on. And I'm just glad we're able to keep moving forward and keeping this a stable, well-run program.
There was also a little clamor behind Proctor School today, just as part of this program, so. Joyous
I mean, the
noise,
kids.
joyful noise.
Yes. No,
That's over there,
good.
isn't it?
Joyful
Yeah.
noses over there, but yeah. But we get what you're saying. Yeah, the kids seem to be enjoying themselves from what you can see, Chris?
Indeed.
Okay, good. So I'd like to make a motion. Oh, we already have a motion. So unless there's any further discussion, I'd like to have everybody who's in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? That passes 5-0. The second one is essentially a donation by the TAA to essentially pass through the donation to us to maintain the porta potties at the athletic fields that the town can no longer fund by itself, since we had to offer that up for budget cuts. So, Kevin, did you want to chat about this a little bit?
Certainly. So this was something that would typically and has historically been available to us through the Parks and Cemetery Department budget, Mr. Wild's budget. As we were going through our process the last few weeks ahead of the special town meeting and identifying potential cuts, this is one that we identified as something that we would, unfortunately, if all failed, which took place, this would be one that would be removed, as well as some treatments for the fields, irrigation, and others. We did have a meeting with the TAA late last week, with their treasurer, Mark, and their president, Bill King. And our team, Mr. Wilds, was there. It was a very productive conversation. I just want to say we appreciate their willingness to work with us under the circumstances. We all want to make sure we're giving all the services we always have and then some. But under the circumstances we're in, heading to fiscal 27, we did indicate to them that the porta potties were not something that we would be able to fund next season, which really means July 1st of this year through the fall, and then again in the spring until June at the least, if not beyond that. And during those conversations, we knew it was prior to TAA. TAA made it clear it was. They took it back to their different entities within the TA: softball, Little League, soccer, etc. And they voted to approve a $4,000 contribution to the town that will go into a fund. And starting this week, next time we have to pay, we'll be pulling out of that fund, if this is successful and approved by the board tonight, to pay for those porta potties through the remainder of this season at least. We are going to look to see if we can take the revenue out of the park, the summer program in the future, and use that out instead of going to revolving, be able to put that into a fund that would allow us to pay for porta potties using those funds as well potentially. But that's down the road. Right now, this $4,000 will make sure it gets us through the season without any disruption to having those porta potties out at there's 2 o'clock, one at Pie, and one at the top lot, which will be used by the summer program.
Yeah, and I happened to walk in at the end of that negotiation or discussion with the TAA, and I mean, we should all be very pleased that the discussions were constructive and amicable, and Kevin did a good job representing the town and helping with this transition, and we thank the TAA for understanding, you know, where we are and what we needed to do and cooperating to make the services for youth sports continue efficiently. So thank you to Kevin, and thank you to Mr. King and the treasurer Mark and the whole TAA.
I would just say one thing, just on messaging. People who are not watching might say, hey, look, they said they were gonna cut this and they didn't. So I think that just needs to be part of this education and messaging, that like the town is not paying for these anymore because of the decisions, right? I just don't want anybody to think that we said we were gonna do things and now we're not doing them. Those budget cuts were real.
Right, and it may look like, somebody who looks at the accounting trail, it may look like the town is paying for it because we have the contract with the porta potty company. So we're actually physically paying the company, but we're getting the funds to pay the company from the TAA.
That's right.
So ultimately, the TAA took over responsibility to pay for that. And we thank them for that and their services to youth sports. And thank you to Kevin for making this roll forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so
You need a motion?
I don't have a motion on this one yet, do I?
I'll make a motion to vote to accept a donation from the Topsfield Athletic Association in the amount of $4,000 to fund the porta potties for the remaining 2026 recreation season.
Second.
Then I'll ask one more question. What is the remainder of the recreation season? Is that through the fall? Is that just the summer?
That would be through the TA wraps up their organized outdoor activities, I believe at the end of October, early November. Mr.
Okay.
Wilds, you could probably, yep, I see a nod. So that would be, this would get us through that time period.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's, once we go indoors, we don't need porta potties indoors. Okay, do we have a motion made and seconded? Unless there's further discussion, all those in favor say aye. Anyone against? Say nay, please. Okay, this passes 5-0. So now we're into item P, the Pie Brook Shed. Kevin, you want to talk about this one?
Sure, I'm going to give a very high level, and then I'll ask Mr. Wilds to maybe give a little bit more of the details, because I know he's had a few conversations with the TAA and Mr. King and his team on this. So currently there are, up at Pie Brook, there is a trailer for Mass Economic football. It's been there for a little while. They store all of their football equipment in that trailer. My understanding is Masco Football wants to donate a shed in its place to be put up in its location right up against the parking lot area to replace that trailer. Second, I'm going to just take the two together because we're talking about a lot of sheds in Topsfield these days, right? Is the soccer shed at Clock. I know that there is an existing shed. The idea here is to replace that shed with a new shed that'll give it more longevity, and I think it's, my understanding is the same size. It'll be located next to it to start with, and they'll remove the old one thereafter, because that shed is not on wheels like the one at Pie. That one is a fixed shed as well. And so one's basketball football, which Mr. King works on as well, and one is through the TA for soccer purposes up at Clock. Mr. Wilds, is there any details you could add on the sheds?
Just one. I know I had sent them. Bill had first talked to me about the Pybrook shed for football. That trailer, when I took over, it's got to be at least 22 years old that they've been using. Gentlemen who purchased it originally, I think, when the Masco Youth Football came about. They've been using that forever. It's long in the tooth and leaking, and all the equipment is musty and stuff from that. So it seems like the right idea. We have sheds in other places. My only consideration was something that would look right at the park. So that's why I said you should direct that to Kevin and or the select board first. It's got to be something that will fit in the aesthetics up there. The proposal they have, I think there's a picture on there of the board, of some sort. The color can be whatever you might like it to be. I have a spot for it. It will not be intrusive in any way. I'm on board with both, actually. I mean, we have done these in the past, long before me too, prior to me taking over. So I think it's a worthwhile project to have. They have a lot, especially football. There's a lot of money invested in the equipment that they reuse each year.
So they pick out the shed, they provide the money, and then we're doing the purchase?
No, they will do the whole thing, soup to nuts. They're looking for, it's my understanding, is just the ability to put it there if that is okay.
All right, so we're basically just approving the location on public property.
Yes.
And it's similar to the rail trail. Only difference to the rail trail shed is the rail trail shed will be the ownership. We will own that shed once it's in the ground. These are going to be exclusively used by a private entity on the public space. So that's the only difference, but it's very similar to what we voted at the top of the meeting.
But to be clear then, this is only for use by Masco Youth Football and Topsfield Youth Soccer.
Yeah, one for Clock and then one for Pie.
Okay. And then the two visions are very different, the pictures
I
on
haven't
board
seen the Clock
docs.
Yeah, it's a metal background.
And at least the one that's there, the soccer one, second worst to the smell is the number of bees that live in
Yes.
there.
The green one is for soccer.
But at least it was red and white.
Yeah, and it is wood. It does fit there. I was going to say, the only other question I would have is, they want to build this one, put it in place. I just would like to make sure there is an honest attempt to remove the old one, so I'm not stuck with it after the fact, and the next person, they go away, and not by malicious nature of any sort, but then it's left to me if something happens. Anything less down there to try to burn. We had somebody try to light one of the porta johns on fire. Actually, they did light it on fire, but last year, but it did go out, thankfully.
God.
So that's my only thing. I'm in favor of these. I know Kevin and I, we've talked about it, and there is a softball one there now on the other side if you get down on the north entrance. So I think it's kind of hard to say no. It's good work. They work so well with us and very accommodating. So it's been a good working relationship.
And that's for the Clock Park shed, so that will be on the north side of the fields?
Yeah, so when you drive straight in, there are two there now facing each other. The old wooden red one, which is soccer, is right there, and it's time. And then there is the softball one also to the left of that, but they're on the north end.
And your hope is that they'll remove the old shed and put this shed in that place?
Their intent is, but they did say in the meeting, I noticed the other day, I didn't have a chance to talk to Kevin about this, was to build a new one first. And I said, well, my mind said, why wouldn't you take that one down first? Something about, well, it's gonna take us time to remove and what have you, which makes me a little leery. That's not my problem, or should not be, if we're trying to work with them.
So one thing I could offer, maybe it's a suggestion to the board, is in the motion, when you make it, you could give them a time period to remove the old shed by, because I think they don't want to lose the storage space by taking it down and then rebuilding it and not losing that time. I think that's their biggest.
Just try to tell you, don't bother.
I just saw Mr. King walk in, and I was about to text him that he was all set, but.
Are we doing?
Yeah, in the interest of not interrupting a major softball challenge that was it was going on outside, we went ahead and very graciously accepted the donation for the summer payroll and the porta potties.
Yep.
So, and we're now on the sheds, talking about the sheds a little bit.
Perfect. Where would we leave off?
I'm sorry?
Where would we leave off?
We talked about location. Mr. Wilds mentioned, he was hoping to have the one old shed removed reasonably timely after the installation of the new one.
Yeah.
Which one was that? That was the pie? Or the
That was the
clock?
clock, yeah.
Clock.
Yeah, Clock North would be the old, I guess you call it soccer one, that's currently there.
So I drove up there today. Could it go in that corner back there?
They set fields up. Depending on the fall and how many fields we have lined, they have 7 fields in the fall.
Okay.
That might be an issue.
Okay.
And that would be a question for Sarah.
Okay.
But I know one of the smaller fields goes right there when we try to lay out the 7.
Okay. There's in the corner near the old one that's there now. I can figure that out if we have to. I can pull up. We're gonna start building tomorrow, I think. But we can cancel if we have to.
I think the question was removal after you build
Yeah,
it, so you can build.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can remove it. It's just gonna take some time.
Mhm.
To get like a dumpster or whatever to bring it down. So it's all volunteer work, so we gotta figure out who's gonna go break it down and how we're gonna get rid of it. So.
Board might have a question about the new one coming in.
Sure.
Not Pybrook, but the other.
Which one?
Soccer.
Soccer. So that's the green shed I sent you? Yeah.
That's a metal shed?
Yep.
Did you had a question about that, Raphael?
More an observation, it's a bit uglier than the one I broke.
It's less attractive.
Potato.
That's what we can afford, so.
Understandable. Okay.
It's basically just a storage shed. It's green, kind of will mingle in. Like I said, we're just using funds that we get through registrations and stuff like that, so. Masco went up in Pybrook is a different fund than TAA, so is that we talking about the Masco one that's a Reed Ferry?
Yeah.
So we've been saving
Yeah,
for a while for that one,
Okay.
because right now it's that junky trailer that's up there. The red one, it's just cause it says Masco Youth Football, all that. So we're gonna get rid of that one, put the Reed's Ferry one up there. It looks nice because it's gonna be, wide open right in the front, so everyone's gonna see it. As with Clock, I was hoping just gonna put it in the back near the woods and kind of just hide it as much as we could. With the green, it would just hopefully blend in.
Okay.
So.
And then another clarification question, if all we're doing is approving the use of the land, do we actually have to do a donation?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering about the
I was
language.
just playing around with the motion a little bit. So what are our thoughts on vote to accept the installation and maintenance of a youth soccer shed at Clock Park or Masconomic Youth Football Shed at Pybrook Park? So it covers the installation and the maintenance, which would include the removal of the old shed. Thoughts?
The only thing I would mention is that I just wanna make sure both sheds, Gary has approved location. Cause it sounds like it's still open on where one of those might be located.
I guess that would be, yeah, Bill and I can work through the Clock Park one. I think the pie is an obvious, right about where you would always put the trailer anyways.
Yeah.
Where the old playground was that we took down.
Off the
because
grass,
it was
on the
safe.
drive.
Yeah, so we're not in.
That would
we're
be
in
the first
lawn.
before we.
Yeah.
You just tell us where to go, we'll just
Yep.
plop it there.
And you're thinking the Clock Park one would go, you said closer to the woods than it currently
So
is?
I can show you a quick picture, if you guys
Sure.
want to pass it around.
Would you,
Sam will have to take it from you though, just.
Just go for it, have at it.
Text it to me.
if there is one there at Clock existing where
Wait,
a
text it.
shed is.
Can you show that and
Yeah,
literally
yeah,
text it to me or like email it to me,
Permission or
please?
of the land, if it's already like a grandfather thing?
I have no idea, that's a
I
good
thought right
question.
next to
what
it
the
is what you're
current
saying.
So like,
status is.
kinda like that green space is the back there.
Before my
kinda
time.
Back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Then
Obviously remove that, that's a porta potty, we'd kick the shed in the back.
I think from my perspective, I'm all in favor of all of that the TAA is doing here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll be
back
more
up-
out of the
so
way.
So we'd remove that red one, in the back, there's that little corner back there,
Yep,
we'd dump it back there in the woods-ish.
But Gary, you think that
I can, we're Sarah's in Japan right now,
Yes,
so I
yeah.
can't get really.
Worst case scenario,
Oh,
when
yeah,
they
yeah.
lay out each, because spring and fall are different layouts for the soccer fields. It's a matter of, do we move them one way or the other, or north or south to make that happen? I know there is one that runs
Was that
north south, if you will, right where that would be, but we can move the fields down. When they do the layout, and it'll still probably work. That's probably now that I think of it, it's not that big of a.
Move the field rather than
Yeah.
move the shed.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and before we go any further, while you were gone, in your absence, we expressed our appreciation to the TAA for working with us so effectively to make this transition happen on the porta potties and to keep the summer program out back going, which
That's
is.
all Katie, so. That's all Katie Curran, that's not me. I just
So
help her.
thank you to
Yeah.
Katie and the TAA then, for keeping that program going and continuing to work with us on it.
Yeah.
We really appreciate the TA's role in those two things and the entire youth sports program.
Yeah.
Which I was proud to be a part of many years ago.
Nice. Which one?
The soccer,
Oh, soccer,
soccer
yeah,
coach, yeah,
that's right.
So this one is
Um,
vote to accept the installation and maintenance of a.
So I got some.
So you said they're building tomorrow, they're starting, so you got a site,
So it's just the platform.
This one, but Bob has
but your site's good.
to talk about
Are
it.
you okay with this?
I am, yeah, as long as you guys
Accept
approve it,
installation.
I'm, yeah, Bill's been great to work with, so as long as we go through the steps and you guys
Installation
are good with it
maintenance
or not,
by the
I'll work with
TAA
them to make sure everything goes smoothly.
at a location to be agreed upon by Gary.
I can say vote to accept.
we're not accepting, we're approving, right?
Vote to approve.
We're accepting a donation.
Well, it's
But
not a
we're not
donation, we're not
actually.
accepting a donation, we're just allowing them to put a shed out there that they're gonna pay for. So vote to approve the installation and maintenance by the Topsfield Youth.
No, it's a temporary structure technically, yeah,
Both
So-
technically temporary.
yeah, unless you,
Tonight is shed night evidently, so will there be a concrete pad?
Of a.
It would just be
shed.
on, like,
Stone dust?
it's, no, it's
Location
not
be
even
agreed
that.
by
It's just
Gary.
basically a platform on like, pavers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It'd
four
just be
corners.
raised up on pavers.
just the four corners?
Four corners,
Yeah.
2x4s, and there would just be a built platform with pressure treated plywood, and then they build a shed on top of that. So it's 10 by 10.
And then that's like critter habitat though, right?
Mhm.
So that's why we gotta build it up, so it's harder for them to climb up.
No, I mean, they go under.
Underneath, yeah. I mean-
hedgehogs.
I mean, the other one's been rotted out from the bottom, so it's,
Yeah.
we're in Topsfield, so
We
it's,
were saying it smells terrible.
yeah, it's gonna be an ongoing thing, but right now the old one has holes and they're eating through all the equipment, so
Well,
hopefully they don't eat through metal, we'll see.
I think for anybody that played football and hung their morning practice jersey in the locker room and picked it up in the afternoon, if it doesn't really smell, it's not really
Yeah.
football, right?
Yeah, right.
Actually having a flashback.
All right, are we ready?
Yes.
Couple of motions? All right, so I'll make a motion for the first one, which is the Pie Brook Shed. Vote to accept the installation and maintenance by TAA of a shed at Pie Brook Park at a location to be approved by Superintendent Gary Wilds.
Second.
I know it's pedantic, but why are we accepting and not approving?
Well, if you make the second motion, you can make it accept or approved. You can split the difference, everyone gets the word they want.
It's fairly similar. Did I second?
You did.
Didn't I?
No, you made a motion. Wait, who made the?
Oh,
You
made
made
the
the
motion. Oh my goodness,
It's getting
Yes.
late.
it is getting late.
We're just overcome with the cooperation.
All right, so you seconded.
So I seconded. Any further discussion? Okay, so all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, say nay. Hearing none, we're gonna have a 5-0 pass on this one.
We can just keep the language the same so that we don't cause any issues.
Okay, you wanna try
It
on the
is-
second one?
It is the same, except it's a different So I'll make a motion to vote to approve the installation and maintenance by TA of a youth soccer shed at Clock Park at a location to be approved by Superintendent Gary Wilds.
I guess what I was saying is, if we accept on the first one, shouldn't we accept on the second one? That's
Too
what I
late,
meant by.
second.
Nope. Okay.
Let's
It
let's
wasn't
not
gonna
get-
be too late
let's-
until you said that word,
Let's not get too caught up.
Right.
and now we're treating them differently.
Did you second it?
He did.
I'll second whichever one you write down.
There you go.
So I wanna make sure we did approve in the first one and accept in the second one?
I think it's the
Other way
reverse.
around.
Reverse, so we accept in the first one, approve in the second one.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you wanted to split the difference.
I thought we should split the difference,
You know what?
everyone's
I
happy.
just soon move on. Okay, so, on the, we passed the first one, so now on the second one, which is clock, unless there's any further discussion, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Nay, for against, this passes 5-0. All right. So, we got through all of your, motions for TAA. We appreciate, your cooperation and all your good work. And, you are released to your own recognizance.
Did the Masco one, for Pyberg get good to go with that too?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Have a good
Thanks.
night.
Thank you, Bill, appreciate
Yeah,
it.
no problem. Thanks.
Hey, did you win?
We did.
Yay.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
You get
I
a,
always
God.
expect to win.
you get a new shed for winning.
Yeah.
Two.
Thanks.
Two, yes.
Thank you, Gary.
Take care, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Okay, so now we are into select board updates.
You're quite ahead of schedule.
Holy God,
You
I
are.
down as 9:34.
You did.
Oh, he set the
we're-
bar
we're
really
up to
low.
8. You thought that
That's
was
what you're
low?
supposed to do.
Hey,
Wow.
I wasn't
Yeah.
gonna tell you.
Better
That's
to
fine.
under promise and over deliver, right? So, Member Serino, do you have any, reports you'd like to make about, significant conversations or activities you've involved in?
I do not.
Okay, Mr. Ruggles, Member Ruggles,
No, thank you.
Member MML.
I have a couple of few. So I wanted to thank the organizer of the Vintage Bazaar that we had at
The what?
Vintage Bazaar.
Vintage
It
Bazaar.
was held at the Topsfield Fair the weekend of the 20th and 21st. It was run by a woman named Devin Chenard. And they had 123 vendors. It was something that she hadn't had there before, so she worked with the fair to hold this event. And I would say it was quite successful. I did go visit it on Saturday. They had a variety of vendors. They had 123 vendors with a variety of goods. Really nice stuff that they were selling. So I just wanted, she was great to work with. The town gets vendor fees for that, so we got close to $2,500 in vendor fees.
And this was at the fair.
It was at the fair. It was excellent. So she did a nice job. It was well organized. They also hired traffic control officer to direct traffic. When I went, there was quite a line of cars getting in, but they were moving them quite well. So, job well done. Job well done.
This is pretty good. We get fees for a fair run by a volunteer on the fairgrounds,
It's a vendor fees.
vendor fees.
And they also
That's pretty good.
had to go through the Board of Health as well because she had 12 to 15 food trucks. They had music. It was great.
No kidding.
Nice job. Yeah. So
Wow.
go next year because I think she's coming back. It worked out so well.
Competition for Martha's Fair.
Yes. I wanted to thank Chief Collins Brown, Captain Bell, T.A. Haratunian, Jake Monroe, who owns Monroe Velo downtown Topsfield, and Superintendent Gary Wilds. We had received some feedback about, classify them as e-bikes, but technically what we were working on were the bikes that look like dirt bikes. And we had some feedback from residents, and we met a few weeks ago, and there have been 9 of those dirt bikes confiscated and.
No kidding.
Yes, so if, hopefully people have noticed that these particular dirt bikes, they were not being operated legally, so they had the right to confiscate them.
Were they all e-dirt bikes?
They were all e-dirt bikes. That could go very, very fast.
Yeah.
And we were able to, obviously, we were able to identify the operators and where they were located.
They found them, yes,
Wow.
yes. They were all around town. So hoping the residents are happy with the results of that. But I just wanted to thank the folks that I mentioned for the collaboration and working on that very efficiently. And then we mentioned this already, but I did want to thank the folks that are coordinating the summer camp. I also happened to walk by today and all the kids were having a blast. So I'm glad we were able to continue that with the help of TA and Katie. And then the last thing I wanted to mention is just thank Raphael for being chair for the last year. You did a great
13
job.
months.
Right? Let's make that clear.
Who's counting?
It's a lot of work,
The last one was hard.
right? And we had to go through an STM, so thank you for bringing us through that as well. I know it's a lot of extra work for the chair position, which you will find out about soon.
Hopefully
good
not an
luck with that.
STM, but
Good luck with that. Yes, so thank you for your work.
yeah, I think I agree with that entirely. It was a tough year, ended up surprisingly tough, but we got to the other side successfully.
That's it.
Do you have anything, Raphael?
Well, just piggybacking on that, I wouldn't say we're onto the other side yet. I think our hard work is really just beginning. We're definitely moving on. It's not the outcome I would have hoped for, but it was the outcome that was selected. And I have faith in the select board and the various boards and committees that run the town will continue what they've always done, which is to try and ensure that the town moves in the right direction, however you want to define that. I'll recognize right means different things to different people, which is always the fun part of democracy. I appreciate the faith that the board put in me over the last 13 months, and I definitely look forward to the next 23 plus.
Okay.
If I may,
Yes.
I had recalled an event that I would like to thank the Tri-Town Human Rights Commission for raising the pride flag on the gazebo. I was happy to attend with TA Hartunian, and it will be there flying until July 4th, celebrating the period of freedom celebration.
And thank you for jogging my memory as well, that the Juneteenth flag is also up. I was not able to attend, being in the middle of the workday, but recognizing that it's up on the gazebo as well.
Okay. And I don't really have any update other than thank you for your faith in me, and I will work hard to try and deserve it. So, Dr. Hartunian, do you have an update you'd like to provide? T.A. Hartunian.
Yes, evidently he just graduated from graduate school.
Sorry, I think I heard, my apologies.
Congratulations on graduating from medical or doctoral school.
Oh, yeah, I don't know which discipline yet, but we'll figure that out, I guess. So the first thing, just by way of updates, and I think everyone's aware of this, we've been communicating, is just operational implementation of adjustments and cuts. That's both things such as our composting, which an email went out today on, as well as some of staff adjustments, which have been discussed and are being implemented beginning on Wednesday, July 1st, this week. But we do have work, as said earlier, cut out ahead of us, but we will be laser focused on the budget, laser focused on doing everything we can to still deliver the services that we've done over the last handful of years plus, with whatever tools we're given. And that's our commitment. So we'll keep moving forward. I was asked to comment on one of our providers downtown, Leela's, one of the two shops that we referenced earlier. I know that Sam Calderon is working with the owner to have a confirmation of their status so that we can discuss their liquor license further on that. So more to come on that.
Did you say Sam?
Just waiting for some confirmations on that, but we are working diligently on our end with the owner at this time to get the confirmations we need to be able to bring it back to the board. Couple of really updates, couple of projects that we have been working on that we are continuing to work on. Alfalfa Farm continues to be doing really well. Our office hasn't had any complaints for noise or traffic, and I know that people I've spoken with regarding that in town and beyond have seen it very favorably and enjoyed the space. So kudos to Paul Bonhauser and his team thus far in their efforts. 10 School Ave, that is our former DPW highway garage, which is been purchased and it will be converted into a full-service restaurant and bar in its location. The construction fence was delayed, unfortunately, due to the size required of it. I believe it had to be 8 or 10 feet, which is not standard. So it took a couple weeks to get the fence they needed. As soon as that fence is up, my understanding is that Mr. Collins, the owner, and his team will be raising the building and moving forward. I am going to reach out to him about doing possibly an event just to recognize the transition, groundbreaking event of sorts with Mr. Collins. And I'll keep the board obviously informed if that's something that we're able to put together.
Yeah, I was thinking about that myself. Good idea.
Yeah, they're both very exciting, and I know I've talked to people in the community. They're just not aware of the highway garage, and I think they'll start seeing action there, which we want to make sure people are aware of what's going on and make sure they're informed.
And we're able to keep that clear of the box stop.
Yes,
So they
yes,
can-
very much. I know Mr. Collins has worked very closely with those neighbors, and I've spoken with them as well, making sure that the disruption while the construction is happening is minimal as possible.
And they've come.
Hopefully, though, with more vehicles coming down there and more traffic, that could really help the box stop as well, from a financial standpoint, which would be great for them. We have a $1.8 million earmark for PFAS that we put in with the federal government, which we submitted a few weeks ago. That earmark has apparently been moved to the next stage in the process. Made the first cut, which is great. Still some more cuts. There are some more steps to take before the money would be available to Topsfield, but it's actually exciting. We're heading in a good direction with that, and fingers crossed that we're successful. That would be a huge win for the town if we're able to get that grant. And I just thank you to Deb Moran and the rest of my team, Sam as well, and Greg Crom for supporting and getting the documentation over to me so we could put that in. But again, fingers crossed on that. While we're implementing some changes, like I said at the top of my updates, we're also ending the fiscal year. It came up very quickly. Usually we have a couple of months between town meeting and the end of the fiscal to get that done. I know the team is working incredibly hard right now, trying to get all the final invoices in and closing out the documents they need to for the end of the year. So just want to publicly thank all of the departments working very hard right now, coming off of a town meeting and a special town meeting. There's a lot right now, and they're doing a lot of really good work trying to get everything done accordingly. So we do appreciate that. And then I just also want to say thank you again to Beth Willis, our finance team, finance committee, the department heads, select board, and the community at large that participated at the STM a couple weeks ago. Amazing amount of efforts were put in from the moderator forums to Mr. Metz and his forums as well, to fielding individual calls and questions, making sure every person who reached out to our office had a response. And just making sure that we went through the process the right way. And there was a lot of work, a lot of more work than I think a lot of people anticipated in a very short window of time. But everything from printing warrants the night that we approved the warrant to setting the meeting up at Masco and having over 350 people present. Something I'll always remember and appreciate everybody's efforts in getting that work done. And then lastly, on my updates, I also want to thank Mr. McDonald. In my role as the town administrator, when we have a chair, whether expect it or not, there's a lot of conversations that take place during the course of a week, course of the day, maybe sometimes hour to hour. And this particular past 6 months plus have been exceedingly labor intensive. And I just want to say that our former chair, Member McDonald, every single time I called, picked up the phone, was always present, always supportive, always inquisitive. And again, I mentioned a second, I'll always remember the last 5 weeks of my career. A big part of that, if not most of it, will be remembering the work we did, Mr. McDonald, through all of it. So thank you so much for your partnership. There's a lot of really good work that went into it. And congratulations to Mr. Metz. I am looking forward to continue our relationship and in the capacity of you as the chair. Excited for it. And I'm sure we'll be doing great things over the course of the next year. So thank you for your willingness to step up to that role. And to the rest of the board, good things are coming. Thank you for my time.
Thank you, Kevin. And thank you for tuning in from vacation. Shay, thanks for stopping by.
Just rubbing it in that once we're out.
Yeah.
And for the rest of the summer.
And we're out for the summer. Well, yes. Thanks, guys. Sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Kevin, just because you broached the PFAS, that four-letter.
Right now, we're in
That four-letter
correspondence.
word, it's been a few months, I think, since we've heard from Greg. And my friend Chip, the AI, is saying there've been some movements at the state and federal level. Might be worth if we can get Greg into a meeting just for an update.
Sure,
Is this for
absolutely.
PFAS? Oh, I missed that part.
The four-letter word.
Okay, is that it, Kevin?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have some correspondence. Some of it kind of interesting and heartwarming. We have a handwritten and crayon letter from a young man who was injured at the playground and who was very appreciative of his service from Matt, a young staff person he called Miss Maddie, who is actually Madeline Pitcairn of the fire department. So he wrote a letter expressing his appreciation, and then his parents, looks like his mom, also wrote a letter expressing her appreciation.
That's awesome.
We also, so another accolade for the fire department. And we have a water quality report, which if we wanted to badly enough, maybe we could bring that up again with some questions for Greg, because there's always a lot of technical details in there that aren't obvious what they mean to the layman. The Rest Stop Ranch is informing us in the town that they're gonna have a series of potluck social dinners on Thursday at 4:30 to 6:30 for 2- and 3-wheel enthusiasts. That's bicycles and motorcycles primarily. And they went on to say how terrific the mileage is on motorcycles, 70+ miles per gallon, and of course bicycles would be almost infinite miles per gallon. So we also have a letter to the town from the Masco Regional Scholarship Foundation for 2 young gentlemen that got partial scholarships, Daniel DiPietro and Anthony Anastas. And thank you from the Masco Scholarship Committee. And also, we have a thank you from Trinity Preschool to Chief Jen Collins Brown again for a donation raised by the fire department for special events for Trinity Preschool in the amount of $6,000. So another fire department thank you and accolade. And then we also had another thank you to the fire department. Apparently, there's a family in town that Dolly and Doug McIlvain which organizes a ALS bicycle fundraising ride. And it goes from Oxford, Maine to Topsfield, which is approximately a 120-mile bicycle ride. So, and when they got to the Topsfield town line, they got an escort by a fire truck and a fire vehicle from the town line to the termination of the bicycle ride. So, congratulations to an impressive fundraising drive by the Dolly McIlvain Group, and thank you to Chief Brown and the fire department for kind of escorting them in and recognizing their efforts. So that is what I have for correspondence. And at this point, we are done with the regularly scheduled open meeting agenda. So unless there's any other comments that we want to bring forward, we're ready to have a motion to go into executive session.
Don't take it personally.
Which is not pointed at you all, but thank you for stopping by. So by a roll call vote, the board will enter into closed executive session in accordance with Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, paragraphs 21A, under exemption number 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigation position of the public body, and the chair so declares, the board will not return to regular open session. And we've got 2 matters to discuss. So do we have a motion to,
Yours is the motion.
that is the motion, and I'm gonna ask by roll call vote
Wait,
whether
sorry,
you approve or
you have to name the 2 things that we're going into executive session about?
we're going into the executive session to talk about the town of Topsfield versus Davis legal proceeding and the David Ahern benefits proceeding.
Perfect, and then you need a second for your motion.
Second.
We have a second,
And now we can roll call in.
and now we can roll call
Thank
vote.
you.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Sam's Rules of Order expert. So, Greg, are you for or against the executive session?
For.
Chris?
Aye.
Member McDonald?
Aye.
Member Link?
Aye.
And I am an aye. So we're gonna go into executive session.